Hello, welcome to Falls from Iron. I'm Gatesy, your host. We are here for the West Ham United squad player tier list 2022-2023 season. A little bit of housekeeping before we bring our guest in. Please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. And make sure you hit that bell icon for alerts on new content as and when it's added. And we always thank you very much indeed for your support. Now, I've got a very, very special guest sitting in the green room, one of the heavy hitters of the West Ham fan YouTube. And I can see he's chuckling to himself. He's far too modest. Let me get him in here. Gonzo, how are you, sir?
I'm all right. Hitting heavily, Gatesy. Hitting heavily, old son. Been on a heavy bag, you know.
Oh,
how are you? All right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. I'm on my week's annual leave and looking forward to jumping on the Eurostar tomorrow. Whether I actually get in the stadium's another matter, but...
You've got a ticket, yeah?
Yeah.
Say no more. Listen, if I'd have known you was going wide angle on all this, I would have tied it up a bit. I thought we was going to be cut off down there.
Listen, if you want to go... That's fine.
You're all right. Whatever, that's a bit too close up. No one needs to see that. I was you talk about nice housekeeping. There's been no housekeeping. Yeah.
Oh dear. The vacuum cleaner's broke. Just use that as the excuse. It works for me.
Yeah,
anyway,
there's no excuse. But go on, mate. You crack on. Tell me what we're doing.
Well, before I get into that, I'm sure everybody. I'm not going to insult people's intelligence. I'm sure if they're watching this, they know exactly who you are. But more to the point, it's just to sort of point people in the direction of your Patreon website, which I'll just sort of share there. You've got all sorts of membership levels there for people to sort of get their teeth into. There's all sorts of content, and I can speak from experience because, as you know yourself, Gonzo, I'm an addict level member. I'm one of the nutcases, so it's really good value for money, guys, and I can thoroughly recommend it. So please do.
Scroll down on that. Can you do that when you're live?
Yeah.
Because I tell you what. You're much better at this bloody StreamYard stuff than I am. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's got all of the bits and pieces there. It's free from £3 a month plus VAT, going right the way through to £11 per month plus VAT. But the added bonus, as it says there, is you can save 16% if you pay annually.
Not anally.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No, none of that. None of that going on. No. Also, if I may also point people in the direction of your Gonzo's Pinball Flipperama YouTube channel. Would you like to give people a little bit of a steer on what they can see if they want to sign up to this? Well,
pinball mostly, but no, me talking about pinball. But thanks, Rob. I do appreciate that. I tell you, today's an exciting day in the world of pinball because Rob, you're very nice. That's very good of you. The main manufacturer of pinball machines, the PlayStation of pinball manufacturers, whatever, the Sony, whatever, they've just got the license for Jaws.
Oh,
and that's been announced today, and that's a big deal. So we know at some point within the next year, there's a Jaws pinball machine coming out. So we're expecting that the shark will come up and eat the ball or whatever, and you're going to need a bigger boat and you'll be shooting yellow barrels with a pinball. So that's today. So I'm actually doing a podcast later.
Oh, I've got to see this.
Child talking about that.
I've got to see a little bit of this. It's bringing me back to my childhood. Mind you, the bit that freaked me out in Jaws was the bit right at the end. Was it Robert Shaw who was in it? He got eaten by the shark, and that was a bit that freaked me out as a kid. But
Robert Shaw did. So who was left? Just Richard Dreyfuss, wasn't it, at the end?
Richard
no, there was two of them. No, it wasn't Robert Shaw. You're thinking
Robert Shaw was the one that got eaten. He was the guy that, remember, he came in and his opening scene was he sort of scraped his fingernails across the chalkboard, and everybody sort of.
No, that's not Robert Shaw. That's the guy. You're talking about the fisherman guy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think Robert Shaw was. I think you got Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw. They were the two that paddled at the end. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so I've got Jurassic Park up there, and we've got Batman 66 that side. So as you see, there's a little gap, there's a little space in there, which I've got a Deadpool as well. But there's room for a Jaws.
Nice, like it. Okay, let's get stuck into it, young man. So you are here to do the tier list. Your mission, should you choose to accept it. So let's just share this with the ladies and gentlemen at home. if I can press the right button. There we go. Right, so this is West Ham United's squad as per Wikipedia. You've got the players along the bottom, and across the top, you've got 4 different tiers for the individual players to go into. From top to bottom, they are long-term players, 3+ seasons. 1 or 2 seasons is the next tier down. Not sure, fairly self-explanatory, as is the next one, but it's a little bit more brutal. See ya. Real simple. And it should be noted, this is what Gonzo's opinion is on each individual player, not necessarily what he thinks David Moyes' opinion on the individual players. Are you sitting comfortably?
Sell them all.
Right, thanks for coming. Good night.
Yeah, cheers.
Right, so we're going to go alphabetically to begin with. First player off the list is Michail Antonio.
Oh, I like this. I'm going to go with 1 or 2 seasons, which, that's very good. I do like the technology, mate. I really do. It's very clever.
No expense spared.
I'll tell you what, mate. If someone ever buys up Hammers Chat and we go national and on Sky or something, you can be our guy. You know. Actually, I don't. Obviously, Charlie's going to be doing the graphics there, but as the man, as the editor, what's it? The director,
Button Monkey.
Button Monkey. You're definitely the guy. I got to say, 3 seasons. I'm not even sure. I'm not even Robert Shaw. I think 1 or 2 seasons, but very much in the 2 seasons camp there, Rob, to be honest with you. I think if we're still in any way reliant on Michail Antonio after 3 seasons, then we've probably not been doing our job as a club properly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I want to sell him. 2 seasons, let's say.
Fair enough. To be honest, I think that's where most people have put him so far. The next one is technically not a West Ham player, but I'd be really interested to get your take on Alphonse Areola if you were West Ham manager.
Okay, well, if I was West Ham manager, it depends on the budget. And I do understand the thing with the budget, which is if they want 15 million and he was going to be on the same wages that he's on now, you're looking at a £35 million deal. If you've got 100 million, are you willing to lose that much on a goalkeeper when there's other positions need sorted out as well? That being said, if that's not an object and we don't have to take money into consideration, I'd actually have him as a long-term player. I would have no problem at all in having Alphonse Areola as our long-term goalkeeper for the next 3+ seasons. No problem with that at all.
Gonzo Moyes is putting him in the top tier. Fair enough. Next one. Now, this, I was surprised that he was listed as a first-team player, to be honest with you, but he is Harrison Ashby.
Have you done this, by the way? Have you done your own version of this? Have we found out what Gatesy would do in these situations?
My one is going to be the last one recorded. Yeah.
Very dramatic, very EastEnders.
It's my duff movement.
Yes, I like it. Ashby's, I really rate him. I really rate him. I'm hoping he's going to be our right back for a long time to come. I think he is the most talented youngster we have at the moment, from what I've seen anyway. And I haven't got an encyclopedic knowledge. I need to probably watch a bit more of the Rising Hammers, which is a good channel. 3 seasons or more. I think he's the guy. I think he's gonna different to Ben Johnson, because I think this guy's a specialist and Johnson's going to be a really good squad player for a long time. I think this guy may well nail down right back once Soufal's, I don't know, whatever. Once 2 or 3 more years, this guy. But we need to start easing him in now. But 3 or more seasons, yeah.
Are you a little bit disappointed that, given David Moyes has said that he's the closest to making the breakthrough to the first team, that we haven't seen more of him?
No, because at the time when I thought it would have been the right time for us to do so, he was injured. And I think we would have seen him. And I can't remember the game he was in line to play. It might have even been a Tottenham game or something. Or was it the game before that, European? It might have been the European game, something. And he just couldn't. He got injured. Or he got COVID or something. He was in line to play. I think it was clear. Even Moyes said it. I think he'd been... the whispers from the training ground that he'd played in the first team 11 and stuff like that. So no, not really. I was more disappointed with the left back situation because you understand it now. We've got Fredericks there, Johnson can play there, and Soufal can play there. So I sort of get it. But from next season, particularly if we got European football, I want to start to see him being used.
Fair. Next one could be interesting. This one's very much a Marmite figure, Mr. Saeed Benrahma.
It's funny that he's Marmite, because I've got to say, for a long time he wasn't Marmite with me. I just, almost the Marmite thing is you either love him or hate him, and I didn't agree with all of that. Actually, I was apathetic to him after a while. I didn't. Okay, if he's in, fine. If he's not in, fine. I didn't really. That Marmite, there were so many more players in the squads that I either loved more or disapproved of more than Saeed Benrahma, if you know what I mean. So he was worse than being Marmite. At least Marmite gives a strong opinion. It was apathy. There's been times I've forgotten about him this season. But it's going to be a seer from me. He's just not suited to the way we play at all. We won't see our money back. The commentator in the game, I don't know whenever you're probably going to stack these videos up, whenever you publish this. So the game we've just had, which was Brentford.
Yep.
The commentator said during that, Saeed Benrahma has been brought on against his old club. Of course, West Ham paid in excess of 20 million for him. I think it's fair to say he's worth more now. The words of the commentator. Anybody watching that would have heard it. But, no. We're losing money on this guy. There's no way someone's coming in with 24 million for him. I would suggest it has as a sign-in. Bearing in mind he's more expensive than Bowen, it hasn't worked out for us. And I think you could keep playing him for the next 4 or 5 seasons under David Moyes, and you'd just see exactly the same, which is just not quite enough from a player that's in excess of 20 million. I think we can probably get a more effective winger for West Ham. Well, a winger for that sort of money. Danjuma, is that the guy that used to play for Bournemouth? I got it right.
Yeah.
Someone like him. I know he's gone somewhere else now. Maybe I can't remember. He's gone somewhere now, but someone like that. There are players that probably would have been better suited. So see you, Saeed, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably 60, 50-50 sort of who's to blame. Is it the player? Is it the way that the team's set up to play to get the best out of him? I don't know.
I don't care.
It clearly hasn't worked.
And that's the point. I don't care anymore. Did Sullivan sign him? Did Moyes sign him? Is it the system? Is it the player? I don't care. What is clear, and this is the only bit of evidence we need, is it's just not working. Well, and you can all individually apportion your blame to either the manager, to the player, to the owner, to the system, but still you'll come to the same conclusion that it's not working, because even if you say, it's the manager, and if Saeed Benrahma plays every game, he'll be great, but he's not going to play every game. So you come to the same conclusion. It's not worked.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, next one, and you mentioned him here in your talking when you were talking about Benrahma just there. It's Jared Bowen.
Well, it's got to be 3 seasons, but I just don't feel that it's not our decision, unfortunately. It doesn't matter whether it's Gonzo's tier list, Gates's tier list, Gio's tier list, Duke's tier list, Budgie's tier list, or anyone else. It'll be Bowen's tier list or Danny Dyer's tier list, which ultimately decides this one. But what can I say? A magnificent player. Well, not lucky. Actually, no luck involved. He was scouted. We bought him. We developed him. No luck at all. Maybe we are. So yeah, luck and fortune doesn't come into it. But I'm delighted that we have him. He's clearly going to be attracting interest from elsewhere, and that's the measure, and that's why he's worked out, because there are probably fewer clubs that would take him, and that's why Benrahma hasn't worked out, because there's not a fewer clubs that would take him in the Premier League. We'll treble our money on this guy at least if we were to sell him. So I don't want to. He's really important. We need to find another one like him, not sell him.
Fair enough. If you were the West Ham manager, is he your manager's player of the year?
Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? Hey, you're not just a shaven head, Gatesy, I'll tell you that.
You're very kind.
I'm particularly nice today, I've got to say, complimentary. That being said, you want to get that wall plastered behind you. The natural brick effect is not doing it for me. I just sort of slapped a West Ham sticker. It's almost like you've become the badge, because your shiny head is just in the middle of that badge. There you go. We've done away with the crossed hammers. It's just Gatesy in the middle of the crest. They didn't think they were going. Look, they thought they were complaining when the London was on the badge. Now it's just your mug.
That's just me.
They can hold on. They didn't consult the fans about that. That's for sure.
Bring back the castle.
Yeah. So what are we talking about anyway? I've forgotten.
No idea.
No. Something about
would Bowen be your player of the year?
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Manager.
Player of the year. Bring it on.
Job done.
Yeah, give it to him.
Job done. Now we go to Vladimir Kufal. Fantastic first season. This season, not so much for a multitude of reasons. What do you think? Thoughts on him?
1 or 2 seasons, I think, for him. We need. He's done nothing wrong. He's actually done an awful lot right. But we do have. I would like to think that Ashby would be our. I think we might even buy another right back. Fredericks will go. I wouldn't be surprised if we buy another one. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ashby is one of our choice of first 2 right backs. And then what happens is Johnson, which will probably preempt what I'm going to say later, would be the guy that covers right back, covers left back, and also when we play 3 centre backs, also is one of those positions as well. So Sufal, I think if Sufal is still our first choice right back in 3 seasons' time, again, we've probably not done something right like Antonio. But for the next couple of seasons, absolutely, he should remain.
Fair enough. We move over to the other side of the back 4. Aaron Cresswell, stalwart in the squad. Is his time coming to an end if you was in charge? Or
Yes. But I'm not saying not sure, and I'm not saying see ya. But you have to start phasing him out. But he's still got a lot. I still feel he's got a lot to offer. So I would still say 1 or 2 seasons, actually. Because he's still got that set play. Let's be fair. He's had 2 bad games.
Yeah.
Before that, it's been quite a while since he's had a bad game. So he's still got an awful lot to offer. But the older he gets, the more bad games he's going to have. And I would consider it to be one of the priority positions, the left back. So actually we need to get to a position where actually he's not an understudy to Cresswell we're getting. We need to bring someone in where Cresswell's then the understudy. And obviously he'll play. He'll still play lots. He'll still play at left centre back when needed and stuff like that. So yeah, 1 or 2 seasons for Cresswell.
I've changed the background just for you, by the way.
Oh wow! I didn't notice.
No worries. Right, next one. Craig Dawson. Absolutely fantastic value for money. What's 3 million quid? Brilliant. But what are your thoughts?
He's 31. I'd keep him for another 3 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
I would. I just don't think I don't think he'll complain. To be fair, come the 3rd season, I wouldn't particularly want him in and around. Well, not in and around. In and around's wrong. I think in and around the first team is good because I think he's probably a good person to have around. But I'd be disappointed if we hadn't brought in better centre backs than him, or Baptiste hadn't come through. That being said, at that price, as a leader, as a scorer of goals from defence, as somebody that is willing to play through the pain barrier, at 31. I don't think you'll see much difference between Dawson's performances at 31 and 34. I really don't. I think effectively you'll have the same player. So why would we not want to keep him on? That's not one of the players in the squad that we need to deal with at the moment. So yeah, I'd keep him on. Okay.
Next one is another centre back, and again, a player that polarises opinion. It's a Diop.
Yeah, see you later, I'm afraid. Again, you have to keep him, you have to invent a scenario like you do with Benrahma. The Benrahma scenario is David Moyes plays him in every game and then we see the best of Benrahma. Well, it ain't going to happen. You have to do the same with Diop. It ain't going to happen. That Diop, if you're a fan of Diop, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Diop has some good qualities. If you're a fan of Diop and the player you want to see is only going to play for West Ham if he plays all the time, and he's just not. So what you're hoping for just ain't going to happen. So for that reason, I think we sell him now. The thing is, the trouble with Diop is apparently it was, Lyon were interested at 15 million. I think having had a close look at him in the game, so they would have obviously, they'd be keeping close eye on West Ham at the moment. From what I've had and watched recently, they'd probably think it's not worth paying 15 million. But we paid 23 for him. We either let him go in a year and a half or whatever for nothing, or we try and get £10 million for him now. There's a lot of free defenders around in this next upcoming transfer window as well. So yeah, see ya for me.
Yeah, I think he'll probably be one of those sort of players, a bit like Sebastian Haller, that we'll wave goodbye to, and then he'll come good at another team, and everyone will be going, "Oh, look what he's doing." But it's like I say, same with Benrahma. If the pieces of the jigsaw don't fit, you just got to sort of move on.
You're right, and Haller is a great example because everyone says that. What about Haller? If we'd have kept Haller, no. If we'd have kept Haller, you wouldn't have got Ajax Haller. You would have got the same Haller that we had before, which is David Moyes not trusted him not really operating within the way that the team played. That's it. And I'm sorry to say that. And Moyes is far from infallible in all of this. I mean, probably the worst article I've read all week was that West Ham might be interested in signing Josh Cullen. Now, I don't know if I believe it or not, but there ain't... I mean, it's about as depressing as it gets, really, isn't it? That there might be, I don't believe it, but if the story was true, it might be a case of David Moyes thinking, "Oh, look, he can play. He's a good player." Oh my goodness, can you imagine? So yeah.
Was it a million we got rid of Cullen for? No,
it might have been 800,000 actually, but every manager has got that. By the way, every manager has players that he's let go or had the ability to sign. I mean, it's actually a really. It would make a very not a Viva video, it's too long for video, a really good book. Who went, Arsene Wenger turned down Zlatan, and there's loads of stuff. Whatever, Shevchenko at West Ham, loads of stuff happened, and everyone's guilty of a few of them. And I'm not saying Cullen's going to be as good as Shevchenko or anything like that, but Moyes will get things wrong, and yes, I do agree with what you're saying about Diop going and playing well elsewhere. Yeah.
Next off the list, Lucas Fabianski. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If you look at 1 or 2 seasons, remember what I said? Just take what I said about Dawson. I think Dawson is 31 now. It doesn't rely on pace. Those same qualities that Dawson has will still be evident when he's 32, 33, and 34. The reason the others are in 1 or 2 seasons. Is Antonio going to be playing as well as he does now in 3 seasons? No. Is Soufal? No. Is Cresswell? No. And I'm not sure with Fabianski that how long he can keep on at a level. We've already had his best. I think we've already had his best season. I think we've already had his second best season. I don't think he's going to get better from now. So we need to address the goalkeeping situation. I'm not sure. As a number 2. I don't mean a poo, by the way. As a number 2, as like a second, like a backup for next season. Okay, maybe. But I also wouldn't be adverse to having a main goalkeeper, and then maybe a different backup one, and then a young goalkeeper. I don't think you need 4. So, a backup, a main one, and then a youngster would probably be the way I'd go. So I'm not sure really.
Fair enough. Next one, and I know you like this player. You gave him a nickname, Pablo Fornals.
El Fornicador, the fornicator. I'm just surprised no one else gave him the nickname before I did. Where is he? Hold on.
Oh, look at that. Pride of place.
Well, I had to scramble around to find it, but yeah. Oh, shit, I've dented it. Don't let Len see that. Yeah. Yes, El Fornicador. I've dented it. That's an arse.
I've got to get myself a Canning Town, Len. I've been saying that for ages, and I've just not got round to it.
Yeah, I mean, bless him. He's a good pal. Lovely, very talented. Seen his paintings?
Yes.
I mean, he's not. That's the difference with Len. Len is not just a video editor. Len is. I mean, it's not for me to say what Len has been doing all his life, but I'll tell you now, Len has had. As a top guy in his field, and it's not just that he can do a bit of, put some Photoshop filters on and his hand drawing, his digital drawing, his painting. He is a highly highly talented artist, actually. Anyway, for 3 seasons. I see 4 seasons or more. You haven't even got a category for Fornells. Fornells gets it. Fornells is Mr. West Ham. Any foreign player who turns around and says, I reckon if I was born in Dagenham and my dad used to work at Ford, I'd have gone to West Ham from the age of 5. Any foreign player that says that just gets it. Brilliant.
Like a Spanish Alvin Martin
so.
not in terms of his playing ability or anything, just in terms of the fact that he was a Scouser. He didn't come from the local area, and he embraced the club. The club embraced him, and he's gone on to become a legendary figure at West Ham.
A cult hero. He'll be a cult hero. Ginger Pele. Yeah. Again, it's like Dawson. He just gets it. I don't know. I just think he thinks, I love all this West Ham stuff. I love this. I think he feels at home. I think as I remember it, I think Fernando Torres. I feel a bit sorry for Fernando Torres. I think Fernando Torres gets remembered for the crap version that was at Chelsea. But for 2 seasons, Fernando Torres was the second best player in the league, and he was just unlucky that he was there the season that Ronaldo scored 40 odd goals. But Fernando Torres at Liverpool was a sensational player. But you used to hear all these things that he used to go and see the Liverpool fans, and he'd walk into the boozer and put 100 quid behind the bar and stuff like that. And he got "You'll Never Walk Alone" tattooed on his arm and stuff like that. Nothing to do with Liverpool, from Spain, but it's an example of a player signing for someone and immersing themselves in the club. He's got no affiliation to him, and Fornell's got no affiliation to us at all. He just sort of gets it. I mean, the old ones, remember Jan Malby? Do you remember him?
Oh yeah, he sounds more Liverpool than
Scouse
most people born and brought up there.
Got a Scouse accent. Yeah,
madness.
Just some of these people, even Schmeichel to an extent. Peter Schmeichel, he had a Mancunian twang by the time he'd finished. And I just some of these players, they just get buy into a club culture. Fornells is one of them. He can stay as long as he likes, quite frankly.
Fair. I thought you'd probably put him there. I know you've got a little bit of a do I say hero worship? Is it on that level?
I wouldn't say hero worship, because I wouldn't.
But certainly, you've got a lot of respect and time for him.
Yeah, he's not a guaranteed starter, but people like him and Dawson, you need them around the squad. You need them involved. You need to, sometimes when you don't know as a manager. There's a lot of players in that Brentford game didn't run around. Fornells wasn't one of them. I'm not saying he was any good. He couldn't open up a defence either, but you wouldn't point a finger and say, oh, he was low energy. He didn't try. No, you never get that with him. So I've got a lot of respect. A lot of respect for him, certainly. I was the thing they call. They say, people say a guilty pleasure. I wouldn't say he was my guilty pleasure, no, but I like him.
He's got the Gonzo seal of approval. I wonder if this next player will have the Gonzo seal of approval. Ryan Fredericks.
Sorry, I thought for a moment then I thought you automatically dragged him into Sia. You can, by the way. I thought you were preempting it. I don't know why I sort of saw that. I like him. I always feel bad about Fredericks. I'll tell you why I feel bad about Fredericks is I used to do media stuff with the club. Firstly, myself and Gio used to have permission. We had a meeting with the club. We used to have permission to do stuff for the club. We've had stuff. I did one day. I ran the club's Snapchat, for instance, and we were allowed access. And we did stuff for the club's channel. Myself and Gio last season up to Park. Even after that, we didn't have a bad relationship. And particularly the old press officer, not the one that's there now, but the old press officer. I used to message him and say, mate, can I come and get some photos? I do this, that, and the other. And he would say, look, I can't let you have a... And occasionally they'd give me a press pass, basically. So one of the games, I had a press pass, and I found myself stood next to Ryan Fredericks. And he was a really nice guy. I mean, he was just friendly. He was chatting to me. So I always feel bad about saying anything about Ryan Fredericks. So, but he can't control the football, unfortunately, very well. And he can't kick it very well. But I think he's been really good in the last few games. His athleticism and energy has been really well needed. I think there's a club for him somewhere, and he'll do well for him. But he relinquishes the ball far too often, I'm afraid. his basic techniques he's not going to start learning now. So yeah, he's got to leave.
Fair enough. He's in the senior pile. I don't think this next one's going to be, but you might shock me. Ben Johnson.
Oh, long term, get him up the top there. Get him up the top.
Top shelf material.
Yeah. I mean, he's been at West Ham since he was 7 or 8. I mean, there's other players. I have to make a case and explain why they get it. You don't even have to say that. He's already proven it. He's been there all his life, basically. Mr. Reliable, can play in a number of positions. A real success of the academy. I think everyone expects everyone to come out not everyone. It's not right. It's not fair to say that, but I think there's sometimes a suggestion that everyone that comes out the academy's got to be a superstar. Well, some people aren't. Some people just make it as decent professionals, and I think that actually there's a lot to be said for those people, and he's going to be one of them. He's not going to win the Ballon d'Or, but you may well find that this kid plays 250, 300 games for West Ham. And that is not to be sniffed at all. That is not to be sniffed at. I know he hasn't done it yet, but do not be surprised. 250, 300 games for West Ham. Again, he's going to be those people up the top. This is, you need to add world beaters to them. You need to add superstars to them. But this is your core. Those players at the top. This is your core, your solid core of players. No, this should be whatever. We'll find out who else goes up there in a minute. But yeah, these are your guys.
Given what you've just said about Ben Johnson, are you confident that he's going to sign an extension to his current deal?
Yeah, because we should offer him enough money that he can not only be comfortable. It's not about being comfortable. Enough money that he'll be a millionaire. All right, listen, not a multi-millionaire, but a millionaire that he can earn a million or two each year, and over a career, that's it'd be comfortable. He'll be comfortable, and so are his kids. If someone else is going to offer him big bucks elsewhere, who? And it might not be that. It might be guaranteed first team football, but I think it doesn't go for everybody. I think it's a hindrance for some people, the being the flexibility of position, but not for him. The very thing that is a hindrance for some players, which is not having a position nailed down, may well be the reason that he gets 200 to 300 appearances for West Ham, and that is that. Oh, the left back's out. Who are we going to call on? We call on Ben Johnson, not Ghostbusters, by the way. The centre back's out. Who are you going to call? Ben Johnson. Like that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So, I think he will sign.
I'm not too sure whether this next guy's A, going to sign, or B, going to get 200 to 300 appearances for West Ham. But what are your thoughts on Alex Crowell?
Oh, is he? Sorry? Who?
Yes, the lesser spotted Alex Crowell. It's
Yeah, he's the lesser spotted, isn't he? Are they called twitchers, people that watch birds? Are they called twitchers?
Bill Oddie.
Yeah, I think they're called twitchers. Like when they get like the green tent with a little thing in it and a zoom lens and all the rest of it. They're called twitchers. Yeah, old twitchers.
I call him something else, but
there he is. It's a pied wagtail, lesser spotted Alex Crowell. Amazing. Well, see you later. I can't even be bothered, Gatesy, to go into who's. I don't even care whose fault it is anymore. It just hasn't worked out. If people want to talk about, they got sympathy for him. Fine. If our fault, his fault, whoever. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Good luck to him. I just, I hope he finds, bearing in mind what's happening in Russia, I hope he finds somewhere to go and play football. He's clearly a good lad.
Fair enough. We move on. Manuel Lanzini's had something of a comeback this season of sorts.
Yeah. I'd keep him around. I would still like to eventually sign another number 10. But I don't feel it's... If we have Lanzini always plays brilliantly when players around him. Lanzini plays well with good players around him. I don't think Lanzini is as good as anyone. I'm not saying that, but he is on his day, and he could have his day quite a lot. He's a formidable number 10. passer move. He's the best footballer we have in terms of passing technique, first touch and passing. Maybe hasn't got the fancy stuff and the rainbow flicks of Benrahma and all the rest of it. But ball control, pass, move into space, it's Lanzini. And I don't think it's a position we need to deal with right this second. So if we do have 150 million, for instance, we've got to sort out the centre back, we've got to sort out another central midfielder, we've got to sort out a striker, we've got to sort out a left back. There's not money in there after that to go and get another attacking midfielder. That being said, we go and get Jesse Lingard. I would expect Jesse Lingard, but I would still keep Lanzini. I really would, because depth has been our problem. Too many. I see too many people, in particular, look at the comments on when I look at the videos. Too many people of here's a great example. So you get comment after comment after our squad's too thin. Our squad's too thin. This is why we're suffering. This is why we've lost that game, because our squad's too thin. Then we get linked with Calvin Phillips, and then there's comments, loads of them, some of them from the same people. Where's he going to play? Well, you can't have it both ways. What is it? Are we having 11 players? If so, then our squad's not too thin, right? Because it's 11 players. If our squad's too thin, where's he going to play? Well, in central midfield. We're going to rotate a bit, right? Which is what we need to do. And I would say the same. It's not a case of, we get Jesse Lingard in. Okay, well, we sell Manuel Lanzini now. No, Lanzini's a fantastic player. I put him in the top category. I'd keep him around for 3. Would I keep him around for 6 seasons? No. But you keep your quality players. There's players that are crap that we need to get rid of. He's not one of our crap players.
You're going to go up in Happy Hammerette's estimation, it has to be said, because she loves Manuel Lanzini.
Well, of course. Quite right too. He's a fantastic player. And the other thing is, what I like about him as well is his dad goes to away games and stuff.
I never knew that.
Oh, his dad 4 or 5 times. His dad's been that I know of. And it's happened much more times than what I know of. His dad's been in the crowd. With the away fans. Goes in with the away fans. Again, is he as vocal and all the rest of it as Fornals? No. But again, he's completely embraced being a West Ham player. He's been here a long time now.
Yeah. Well, saying about someone that's been here a long time, the next player, his father was here a long time. This guy, not so much. David Martin. Now, I have to caveat this because a few people have tried to be a little bit cheeky and say, oh, yeah, we could keep him on as a coach. No, this is David Martin as a player. Okay. Nothing to do with him being a coach.
Okay. Well, I understand that, people saying that, because clearly he's a good guy to have around. And again, he just gets it. So I would be an advocate of that as well. You can't have too many. And David Moyes understand that. That's why he's brought in people like Stuart Pearce and people like Kevin Nolan who have been at the club before. It's why he tried to get Joe Cole as a coach. David Moyes understands the value of having West Ham history within his coaching setup. As a player, no, it's see ya.
Boom, gone. But would you, Gonzo, offer him a job as a coach for one of the age grade teams coming up?
Possibly a coach. I would need to know how. I don't know anything about goalkeeping. I would need to assess how much he knows about the technique of a goalkeeper, the closing off of angles, that sort of thing, and how good he is at communicating. I mean, you could be the best driver in the world. Doesn't mean you're going to be a great driving instructor if you haven't got the patience and the ability to lucidly convey what it takes to drive a car. You might just, I don't know, just drive the thing. They're not one and the same thing. So if he turns out he had the abilities to be a good coach, fine. If not, I would still try and find a role for him within the club. And I don't mean a club ambassador in the lounge with the fans buying him drinks and all the rest of it. They get smashed. Someone I'm not. By the way, there's anything wrong with that. But in and around the club, to be around the players or whatever, pay for him to get his course in physiotherapy. I have him as the assistant physio. I would try and keep him around in a capacity.
Fair enough. I wonder if you're going to keep this guy around in some sort of capacity. What are your thoughts on Arthur Masuaku?
Well, he's got to go. I mean, it's see you later. Really, we should never have offered him that 5-6 year deal or whatever we did back then. He's all right, Arthur. He's all right. He's all right. You know, he was, again, I feel a little bit bad because we did the training
tennis,
ground.
didn't you?
Yeah, he was the guy I was partnered up with, you know. So and he's a nice guy. That being said, the two I really gravitated towards were Obiang and Kiate. And I've met Kiate 3 or 4 times. And it's quite funny, actually, because whenever people say, I'll get rid of Kiate, I think, well, I've seen it. I've seen him behind the scenes, actually met him once in the dressing room at Upton Park. I met him another time in the corridor at Upton Park, and I met him at the training ground. Kiate was the Joker. Kiate was the character. Everybody loved him. And so it just wasn't as, I used to think, you know, people are just judging him on kicking the football around. Actually, he is a great, honestly, I saw him walk into the canteen at West Ham. Saw him walk into the players' canteen. He had he was ruffling people's hair. He was, he was tapping them on the shoulder, but then disappearing around the other side. He was fun. He was a funny, lovely, nice guy, and there's a lot to be said for that. And Obiang as well. In fact, Obiang was funny. Obiang told me, he said, you picked the wrong one there. He said, Obiang said, if you'd have played head tennis with me, I reckon we would have won. He said, you and me, I reckon we'd have that. He was just, he was blowing smoke up my arse, but he was a lovely guy, But Arthur was all right. Arthur was all right, but he's not got the qualities we need at West Ham, quite frankly. He's not determined enough. He's not. There's players up on that top list who have got determination coursing through their veins, who are desperate to succeed, and he is just not one of them. I'm sorry to say. He's happy with his result. He's not disruptive, but that's sort of part of the problem as well, really. He's quite happy to pick up his paycheck and play 4 times a season. Not for me, mate.
Fair enough. Now, I'm going to deviate a little bit here because you can see who the next player is, but I'm saving him till last. So we're going to go to the other end of the queue. Kurt Zouma.
3 or 4 years. It's sensational. This is a success of David Moyes. You've got to do both in equal measure. You've got to praise him for being steadfast and resolute in his transfer targets, but it works like that. But also you must understand that you will criticise him when it frustrates you because you miss out on a player. But all the time people are saying, why didn't we get him? Why didn't we get him? Well, that's why we didn't, because David Moyes was really insistent that was his guy, and you can see why. The defence is much improved when he's in it, and he's a good age. What is he, 26, something like that?
About that, yeah.
We're never going to get our 25 million back on him, but that's why he was 25 million. He's better than 25 million. He is. Clearly, he's not without his faults, and he's got himself into trouble. But as a player, he's great. I do worry about his injury record because he is part of the thing that really goes for him is he's so athletic and so big and so strong. I almost worry that he's a little bit too athletic, strong and chunky for his body. So when I see him go over on his ankle or his knee, I think, there's a lot of force going through there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do worry about that. But there's something about that top list of players there. There's a determination about them.
Winning mentality.
Yeah. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. I think we're seeing that's sort of evident. Actually, I mean, look at the way the players are separated. Now, you might not agree with my tier list, and you might have different ones. But I'll tell you what, attitude and it's not just ability plays a big part. Possibly the most skillful player on that chart is Said Benrahma, by the way. So did you see what I'm saying? It ain't just all about that. Zouma, fantastic.
Yeah, I think that possibly the reason we got him for the price we did, and you alluded to it earlier, was possibly his injury record. If he'd have been a bit more robust, I mean, what would he have been? 40 million, 50 million?
Yeah.
We probably wouldn't have got him. So,
no, he's a great player. Really good.
Next one, Andrei Yarmolenko, who within the last month has scored a couple of goals, and obviously he's got the problems he's got going in his home country, which your heart goes out to him. But again, you're judging him purely on his playing ability, not about anything else.
No, well, I think I've gone on record and I've said, look, if it gets to a point where he's going to get booted out of the country because he hasn't got a work visa, I think we have a duty of care, as any employee would, bearing in mind he can't go to his home. His family had to leave their home. He has his home in the Ukraine. I don't mean it's not there, whatever. I don't know it, but he can't go back to it. He physically cannot return to his home. So it's a case, they give him technically. I won't give him any more money. He's had lots of money out of West Ham. Give him a job as whatever, a liaison officer or something, just so technically he can get his work visa and keep his family here until he can go back home. But as a player, no, it's done. We're done. It's not worked out at all. In fact, it's been a pretty damn bad signing. But we knew we were signing injury-prone player from Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund didn't sell him because he had no technique. They sold him because his injury record was so bad he was finding it hard to run. And you can see he struggles to run. He's mostly broken. So yeah, off you go. Unfortunately,
he's out the door. Next one, a signing earlier this season, which thus far hasn't really caught light. But what are your thoughts on Nikola Vlasic?
I'm not sure. I suspect not. I suspect it's not going to work out. But someone somewhere's seen something in him. He's got to have some ability somewhere, and there's got to be reasons for bringing him in. I do wonder if he just, when we've played him, when we brought him in, it's been when the team hasn't been at its best, or it's been when there's a load of second string players around him. I do wonder how good he would be. Let's just say West Ham signed let's say we sign a striker, a really good striker, whatever, £50 million striker. So we've got that guy up front. We've got Bowen wide. We've got maybe Jesse Lingard in the team as well. Rice and Souček, but powerhouse Souček at his best, and all the team. And then at half time, you bring Vlasic on, and Vlasic is playing with all these players who are buzzing and they're really good. I think you might see a different Vlasic. Vlasic playing on the left wing with Masuaku behind him at left back with. I'm saying here, with Yarmolenko running around as the striker next to him. No. So I would imagine I hope that there might be more to come. That being said, so I'm putting him in not sure. My instinct is to get rid of him. But I will say not sure.
Fair enough. You referenced Thomas Souček as a powerhouse. This season, not so much of that sort of description you could attribute to him, but what are your thoughts on him in the longer term?
I'll keep him. He goes right. You talk about attitude. And by the way, Vlasic's attitude, there's nothing wrong with him, by the way. It's just I don't really understand. Or Fabianski's. Souček's, I think most would either think Souček's issues are either being overplayed without having a rest, or it being tactical and not being played in his best position. I think sort that out, give him a rest, play him, give him freedom to get forward and cross the ball into the box. I think you get last season's Souček back. I don't think he's a one season wonder. So I'd keep him. I'd keep him long term. I really do. He's got a winner's mentality. There's no doubt about it. But he's so important, too important for West Ham. And undroppable. I think that needs to stop. And he's so important for Czech Republic. He needs the summer off. That's what he needs. And the World Cup's going to be in November, isn't it? So I'm hoping he gets the summer off. It's really, really important. And if he does, if there's some international games in the summer, which I hope there aren't, they're probably not going to be. They're probably going to be in September. He needs a summer off. Simple as that. Moyes needs to speak to the Czech manager and say, can we give this guy 6 weeks off? And I would say to Souček, can you not only 6 weeks off, can you spend at least 3 of those not just at home? Can you go on holiday? Can you just stick your feet up
just or switch off from football?
Switch totally. Off. Don't whatever. Don't go jet skiing or what. Just can you? I'm not saying don't do. No, jet ski is fine. Don't go running any marathons or do. Can you just have a relaxing time and enjoy yourself? I think that's really important. And you come back fresh.
Yep, fair enough. We go to his midfield partner, Declan Rice. Could be interesting.
Well, it's just on the top tier, mate. On the top tier. It's not even any. It's not, again, it's not our decision.
Yeah.
It's not our decision. Like I said with Bowen, it's his decision, really. But they are a. Have you got any more room across the top there?
I'll make room, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I'm just looking at that top row of players. I think I've got
You're
it
happy?
right. I am. I think if that was obviously it's not enough. It's not a big enough squad. I know that. I think if I'm David Moyes, I'm looking at that bunch of players. I'm thinking, right, boys, okay, well, I can work with you. Like, let's supplement this with some extra stuff. Yeah, I'm not at all worried about the bottom row at all. Aside from Yarmolenko's work visa, which is different to football, I'm not honestly. I'm not bothered about it at all. We need to keep him. Actually, looks quite impressive though. In terms of mentality and ability, the top row of players pretty damn good.
Yeah, you got a good core there for the next 3 seasons if it comes your way.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the next guy's going to go in that top row. Am I going to have to extend that for Darren Randolph?
You're all right for space there.
No,
you are.
You sure?
Yeah, you're all right for space. I think it's absolutely fine, and I think you're actually all over. You're all right for space, by the way. Randolph, see you later, mate. He's had 2 stints at the club. There's little or no point in him being here. It's not being utilised, not being used. Find himself a club elsewhere. Whatever. I don't know how long he wants to keep playing for, but yeah, well done. But yeah, see ya. Cheers.
Fair enough. Next one could be a difficult one for you to answer because he's still injured as we record this. So you're not quite sure how much of the old Angelo Ogbonna is been maybe blunted his edge. But what are your thoughts?
Well, 1 or 2 seasons. We'd be a lot less concerned about Zuma's injury going into the quarterfinals if Ogbonna was still around. And he's only in there because of his age. You can't. Yeah, he might be going to be 3 years. 37, 38. I mean, no, you and after the back of an injury, you can't say that. But I'd certainly look at him for another season, and maybe even 2. Been a fantastic player for West Ham, a real successful signing from Juventus. We paid good money for him, and I'll tell you what, I think he's earned every penny. Every penny. It's been a really, really successful signing. Absolutely love him, actually. And yeah, honestly, I couldn't say a bad word about that player. Nor would I want to. Yeah.
Fair enough. We finish with the club captain, Mark Noble. Now, we're aware that obviously this is his last season as a player at the club, and in all likelihood will be the end of his career. Although that I don't think has actually been confirmed as such. If you was the manager, though, Gonzo, would you be tempted to put your arm around him and say to him, Mark, you're a long time retired. You can do this for another year. You can mentor the younger players, come off in the odd game, 20 minutes here, score the odd penalty. We can do you for another year, can't we? Or would you say, thanks, mate, see you later, down the road?
No, I just don't think. Well, it's down the road. There's no down the road. I think you find a role for Noble. And I think Moyes already said, look, he's got a job here. Let's let him go off and that holiday thing I said about Souček. I think for Noble, go and mate. It's been a long time. Go and take 6 months off. You can mentor the players when you get back. Also, I think it sends the wrong message to people like Chester's or whoever else is coming through, or even Coventry bringing him back. I don't think it's enough. His contribution as this season has been minimal. He's hardly played. To play even less than that next season, I don't know. But I know he's really important around the training ground and all the rest of it. I get that. I understand that. But I still don't think it's enough. I think you can get if he's not playing, I think you can get all of those things anyway. He can still be part of that group by being part of the coaching team, and I'm sure he will be. In the interim, while he's having his 6 month sabbatical to go on a cruise or whatever it is he wants to do, there's enough personality in Kevin Nolan certainly, and Stuart Pearce and people like that to take up the slack. It's it's not a problem. He's not really been the captain this season on the pitch anyway. The off the pitch stuff can be taken up by other people. It's see you later, but not in any nasty way.
Purely as a player.
Yeah,
your time is done, but you've still got a role to play at the club, and I'm sure he'll be offered a role, and I'm sure he'd snap it up. But okay, well,
to be fair, I'm hungry. If you offered me a role at the moment, I'd snap it up.
You and me both, mate. I'm just going to go full screen with this and just go. And so top tier long-term players are Areola, Ashby, Bowen, Dawson, Fornals, Johnson, Lanzini, Zuma, Soucek and Rice. 1 or 2 seasons we've got Antonio, Kufal, Cresswell and Ogbonna. Not sure we've got Fabianski and Vlasic. And waving a cheery goodbye out of the door of Rush Green for the final time, we've got Benrahma, Diop, Fredericks, Krau, Martin, Masuaku, Yarmolenko, Randolph and Mark Noble. Let me get rid of that. We're back in the room. Did you enjoy being West Ham manager for 56 minutes or so?
Yeah, I'm all right at it, I think. I can make the tough calls, Gatesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good.
Ruthless, but with compassion. I feel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of humour thrown in places as well. I like it. So, right,
we can't help but be a bit silly. But no, thanks, mate.
Got to be done. Got to be done.
Appreciate that, and good luck on Dubry flying over to sunny France.
Train.
Or rowing over to sunny France.
Nah, I'm jumping on the Eurostar.
Oh, of course, you don't live far, do you? I don't mean from France. I mean from the train.
Oh dear, mind you, I've got a bit more travelling to do than I otherwise would because the Eurostar's not going from Ebbsfleet International anymore, so I've got to go into St Pancras to come back out.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Brilliant.
Oh,
how
much is the train to France?
I got a mate who works for Eurostar, so I got it a bit cheaper. So, mates rates.
Oh right. I'm intrigued. Everyone's intrigued.
Talk to me afterwards.
Everyone's going to want to talk to you after. And everyone's going to want to talk to your mate after. Never mind talk to you.
All right, mate. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. I'm just going to finish though with one real simple question, Gonzo. What are we?
At the moment, reasonably sized.
That'll do me. Come on, you irons.